Hey, what is up? Hey. So yeah, we got some breaking news, which usually I've reserved this for just Saturdays just to do everything at once, but this one I felt like talking about now because I had the time. Let's see. Okay. All right. As the title indicates, okay, Biden has decided to pardon those with simple marijuana possession at the federal level. This is a pretty big deal, um, but we'll get more into the scope of what this means exactly uh, after we look at his what he said. So let me pull that up. Okay, okay. Here we go. Here we go. Boom, boom. All right. So it's from his his Twitter, whatever. So according to Biden, as I said before, no one should be in jail just for using or possession of marijuana. Today, I'm taking steps to end our failed approach. So, the first thing is that he's going to be pardoning all prior federal offenses of simple marijuana possession. There are thousands of people who were previously convicted of simple possession who may be denied employment, housing, or educational opportunities as a result. My pardon will remove this burden. Second, I'm calling on governors to pardon simple state marijuana possession offenses, just as no one should be in federal prison solely for possession of marijuana. No one should be in local jail or state prison for that reason either. So this is true because a majority of the a majority of the individuals who are incarcerated as a result of the possession of marijuana are usually at the state level as opposed to the federal level. Um, and unfortunately, Biden doesn't have like the authority, I guess, to just do this, right? He can only do it at the federal level. So the next best thing, I suppose, is for him to call on the governors to follow in his footsteps. Which I'm sure that like the blue states, like maybe New York, California, if they haven't already, they would probably do this. We'll see how like maybe the more purple and red states react. I highly doubt they will pardon, but we'll see what happens. Third, we classify marijuana at the same level as at the same level as heroin and more serious than fentanyl. It makes no sense. I'm asking Secretary, uh, okay, Becerra and the Attorney General to initiate a process of reviewing how marijuana is scheduled under the federal law. Right now, marijuana is scheduled as a Schedule 1 uh, controlled substance, or it's a Schedule 1 on the controlled substance list. So removing that from Schedule 1 and pushing it down, or just removing it altogether, would uh, would be like a giant step in decriminalizing marijuana. So that would be the next best thing, I guess, in this process. I'd also like to note that as federal and state regulations change, we still need point limitations on trafficking, marketing, underage sales of marijuana. Sending people to jail for possession of marijuana has upended too many lives for conduct that is legal in many states. That's before you address the clear racial disparities around prosecution. I mean, this is pretty fucking based, honestly. Um, so the popularity. Let me just bring this up first, okay? I do think that this is worth looking into just momentarily. Oh. So, this is according to Pew. Let me bring it up. Okay. All right. Americans overwhelmingly. This is from 2021. Yeah. So this is like last year. Um. we have so here is the pie chart, right? So if we look here, fewer than 10% of US adults say marijuana should not be legal at all. So whether it's for medical use only, recreational use, what have you, 10% of US adults say marijuana should not be legal in any circumstance. This is, of course, this is from last year. I feel like that the proportions here are fairly representative of 2022 as well. Right. An overwhelming share of U.S. adults, 91%, say either that marijuana should be legal for medical and recreational use, 60%, or that it should be legal for medicinal use only, 31%. Fewer than 1 in 10, 8%, say marijuana should not be legal for use by adults. So, a pretty good, pretty popular opinion, I would say, among the general population. If we were to look at it on a state by state level, I wonder how that would turn out actually, unless maybe they have those statistics down here. But let's get a little more into, I guess, demographics. Majorities across age groups, except 75 and older, say marijuana should be legal for medicinal and recreational uses. So total is the 60%, but if we look at between whites, 63% say it should be legal for medicinal and recreational. That proportion is a little bit higher with the African American community. The Hispanic community, close to 50%, 52% there. And the highest proportion for not be legal at all apparently resides, well, it comes as no surprise that it is with the conservative group in terms of political affiliation. Among the ethnic breakdown, it seems like Hispanics are the most against legalization of marijuana under any circumstance, but it is only just 12%. And the variance between this and the other groups isn't really significant here. Asians are the Asian group. First off, they were interviewed in English only, but notwithstanding that, it's a 43% legal for medicinal and recreational use, and a greater proportion, 46%, say legal for medicinal use only. So that certainly is interesting. They do not have a majority with the medicinal and recreational use. Young people overwhelmingly are more likely to advocate for legal and medicinal legalization, or excuse me, they're more likely to be in favor of like legalizing medical and recreational use of marijuana. 70% between 18 and 29. This does not come as any surprise at all. Usually, younger people are more likely to consume marijuana, and are also more likely to be left leaning. So, and usually the more left leaning you are, the more likely. Well, I guess that's not necessarily true because there are libertarian conservatives who are okay with the legalization of marijuana, but I still think generally this is unsurprising. And as you get older, the percentages seem to just decrease, right? If we're only looking at the medicinal recreational use, that goes down, and then the legal for medicinal use only goes up on average here. The 65 to 74 range is interesting because it deviates from the two groups prior, the two age groups prior. Yeah. Yeah, if we just look again here, like on the left-hand side here, Republicans are more worried than Democrats for legalizing for recreational use. Yeah, we understand why that's the case. I feel like there was an element of religiosity that also plays a role here because, like, although the general population is Christian or Catholic or anything or any sort of variant there, conservatives, I feel like a larger proportion of the conservative base are more likely to be religious. Uh, Therefore, I think that that plays a role as well into why that number is higher in terms of like, not being legal at all for that group versus some other group, right? Um, okay, so this is all just basically illustrating again the um, just the popularity of what Biden did, I guess. Now, to be fair, he didn't like decriminalize it or anything like that. There are still steps needing to be taken with regards to decriminalization, but this is definitely a big blow to the war on drugs. This is definitely going to it is a generally good policy, just because um, I without getting too much into the history of the war on drugs. A lot of it was started during the Reagan administration, and unfortunately, they used marijuana as a means of targeting the African American community on a disproportionate level. So, and obviously, it's been continuing since then. And Biden over here, coming from the top rope, deciding to pardon all prior federal offenses of simple marijuana possession is significant. It's certainly significant. Obviously, again, there's a lot of people that are incarcerated at the state level, but it's worth noting that usually things take place in steps or it takes place from the top down. So, what generally happens with these things is that the federal government or the president or what have you will do something and call upon the state legislatures to follow in their footsteps. And that seems to be what's happening here with marijuana, or at least pardoning people. Um, this is just good policy because first off, people should not be in prison or incarcerated for possession of drugs. In my opinion, I don't think that that should be a thing. This is certainly outrageous when you consider marijuana, just because marijuana is really not that dangerous of a drug. It obviously can be, but it's not to the level of like heroin or things of that nature, right? Or fentanyl. Um, so just morally speaking, I think that this shouldn't never even happen in the first place with marijuana being criminalized. Um, but notwithstanding that, it also alleviates the burden upon states if they were uh, to undertake Biden's request here with the pardoning. It's going to alleviate their budgets with respect to funding correctional facilities. So you'll have less people in prison as a result of you know having possession of marijuana, right? And if that's the case, that this frees up capital for the state, and it could be reallocated to different things. Preferably, in the circumstance, it should be reallocated towards like maybe, education, infrastructure, things like that. I think that would be great, obviously, um, and certainly a better use than housing people for nonviolent drug possession or simple possession of marijuana. In fact, if I'm interested just to see the breakdown here because it'll tell us a little bit about. Oh, all right, let's see. Could I get like a? I need something that's kind of recent. Okay, this could be good. Um, This could be good too. The ACLU. I want something a little more like direct source here. Okay, we'll look at this one too. Okay, I don't know how reliable this is, but we'll look at it just for the sake of the segment here. Okay. So I was looking up what percent. I wanted to figure out like how many people are incarcerated for simple marijuana possession, right? And this turns out to be what percent of state prisoners are being held for marijuana possession only. It doesn't really answer my question. I want more so the raw number. 1/10 of state prisoners were marijuana possession offenders with no prior sentences. For federal prisoners, that's 13% of the total prison population. That's pretty significant. About half had a drug offense. That's the most probably. Okay. So, is there? Can we get something else though? Okay, this is from Beta O'Rourke. I can't really take that as like a source. Okay, let's see. At the federal level, 47.5% of prisoners, 81,900, were serving sentences of any length at the end of September 2016 for being convicted of a drug offense at their most serious crime. But doesn't it just include drug possession? Okay. Oh, shit. Are we really not going to get an answer here? 4 in 10. So this is from 2020, apparently. 4 in 10 U.S. drug arrests in 2018 were for marijuana possession or for marijuana offenses, mostly possession. So, according to this, 4 in 10 drug arrests in 2018 were for possession, sale of, or manufacture of marijuana. As a share of all marijuana arrests, 92% were possession, and then 8% were sale or manufacture. Okay, so I think this gives you a general idea of just how much of a proportion marijuana arrests comprise all drug arrests. It's not a majority, but it's certainly a plurality, at the very least in 2018, which I believe this trend has no reason to have deviated since then for 4 years. The FBI did not publish state-by-state data on marijuana arrests, but patterns differ somewhat by region. In the West, 50% of all drug arrests were for marijuana-related offenses in 2018, compared with around half in the Northeast, Midwest, and South. Marijuana is legal for recreational use in 6 of 14 Western states. Okay. But there were fewer marijuana arrests in the West even before the first state-approved recreational sale. Okay. How recent is this data? Okay. I think since then there has been more legalization across the country. So that's interesting. But the general thing I think to take away here is that this is probably one of the best probably one like the best policies or best things he has done thus far. If it weren't for like fucking Sinema and Manchin, and we would have gotten everything we wanted from the infrastructure bill, then that could have probably been better than this. But honestly, this is like really fucking good. Also, yeah, I don't want to I don't want to like list every good thing that Biden has done thus far, or else I would be sitting here for hours. No, I'm just kidding. But for real, like Biden had this. I mean, this is a big deal. You know, this is a big W. And hopefully, this will gain momentum among. I mean, he's basically like giving like a lifeline to these different like Democrats, right? And these that are running in these different states, whether it be for the House or the Senate. They could easily hop on board here, use this as fuel to their campaign fire, and they could simply like say, Biden, he has done this. I know that X percent of you who are in my state or what have you are in support of this, I will back what he is doing, and we will try to get it legalized here in whatever state, right? That could be. I mean, that's just one way in which these candidates running can feed off of the um, momentum that Biden has started here, right? Um, but yeah, I don't know. There's nothing more to say. I wonder again how this is going to play out in terms of a campaign strategy for the different candidates. It certainly could play a role, but we'll see. Um, is there anything else? I wonder what these different people's reactions are. Is there like a yeah? Let me see, because like I'm curious, like what certain people's reactions are to this. Um, I haven't seen one person bitch about this. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, like this is overall good. Um, okay. Is there anything else? Is there anything else to mention here? The campaign thing. The war on drugs. I don't know, man. Okay. Well, I think that I think I covered everything I wanted to for that story. Nice. I will say though, like Biden has been surprisingly good on multiple different levels as a president. Oh man, hold on. We'll watch this in a second. Um, right. Yeah, he's been surprisingly good on several different levels. Like well, obviously this is good. Um, Withdrawing out of Afghanistan was kind of like iffy. I mean, like I was definitely like iffy at first, but I think that has turned out to be pretty good so far. And not withdrawing out of Afghanistan like in principle, just like the way in which it was conducted. I think in principle is good, but on foreign policy, he's been really good as well. Like the war, the drone war has effectively been nullified. Um, Obviously, Afghanistan thing, weed, removing Schedule F was big. It was it wasn't like super big, but it was definitely significant. The forcing federal contractors to pay $15 an hour, that was good. Um, the I don't know. Is there other shit? I'm sure there is. Okay, let's watch this video. then we gotta look at something. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. So Herschel Walker is a Senate candidate running in Georgia. His son recently called him out on Twitter. I don't know if this is real. Um, I don't know for sure if it's real, but yeah, but apparently it's here. I'll just show you what I'm looking at. But apparently, it definitely has an impact in terms of PR. So if we just look at like what happened here, um, so the original thing is he said that I love my son no matter what. I don't know what this is in reference to. It was just out of nowhere he said this. I guess I don't know. But his son, by the way, this his son Christian Walker is a prominent TikToker who's also like super conservative and like openly gay. Um, and I only emphasize that point because Christian Walker is like the epitome of gayness, while at the same time being extremely homophobic and carrying traditional conservative beliefs that would otherwise necessitate his existence to be erased. So there's some cognitive dissonance there, which I am unsurprised by, if just because if you're a conservative, the I don't know, it doesn't make sense to also be. I mean, like if you're gay, it doesn't make sense to really be a conservative and whatever. But I only mention that again also because his father is running for a Senate in Georgia, um, and they're both really conservative apparently. Whatever. But apparently there's some feuding going on between the two. Um, and Christian Walker states that you have four kids that we know of, and you weren't in the house raising one of them. You were rat cheating, lying. If you loved your kids, you'd be raising them instead of running for a Senate to boost your ego. This is like not good for Herschel Walker, who's isn't he running against Warnock? And is that correct? I'll look that up in a second. But this is not good for him at all, really. I'm assuming this is the real Christian Walker, by the way, but apparently he deleted that tweet. Um, Now, if we look though, there's it goes deeper apparently. I know my mom and I would really appreciate if my father, Herschel Walker, stopped lying and making mockery of us. You're not a family man when you left us to bang a bunch of women, threatened to kill us, and had us move over 6 times in 6 months running for your. So, by the way, regardless if this is like him actually saying it or if it was hacked, um, the fact remains that it got a ton of engagement, and even if this is his account and he wasn't or even if this wasn't his account and he wasn't hacked and it was all deleted, whatever, this certainly is not good for his race. Whether or not that's the case, because it got a lot of engagement, and we don't know if this is even true. I mean, it could be true, I guess. I don't really know the I don't I'm not like caught up on the Walker family manga. I don't have that lore really. But that's not good. It's not a good look, man. Um, he goes on to say, I don't care about anyone who has a bad past and takes accountability, but how dare you lie and act as though you're some moral Christian upright man. You lived a life of destroying other people's lives. I remember every family member for Herschel Walker asked him not to run for office because we all knew some of his past. Every single one. he decided to give us the middle finger and air out all the dirty laundry public. So yeah, anyway, regardless, this is really fucking bad. And recently, he was apparently reported, he was talking to reporters, I guess, in Georgia. So I'm interested to see. I'm just, oh my god, I can't speak. I'm interested to see how this played out. So let's see. Oh god, that is too quiet. Hold on. This is gonna be... All right, we may as well make it 100.
No.
To ask
Oh.
any of the mothers of your children.
No.
To ask what? Why not?
Why'd I need to?
Well, because according to the article, the woman who says that you paid for her to have an abortion is also the mother of one of your children. It seems like that's an easy way to...
Because of the article, I had more kids. That's why I reached out to anyone, because I said no, and that's what I mean. When I said no, I said it's not correct, that's a lie. And that's what I mean, that's a lie.
But if the woman said that
yes, let me go to her.
Thank you. You said that if it did happen, there's nothing to be ashamed of. How do you
Wait, I
square
never
that?
said,
You said that this morning on you.
no, what I said, I was talking about something totally different than it did happen. I said, when I...
Yikes, man. That's a big yikes moment here.
It's my ex-wife and in my past, nothing to do with what this woman said. I said this here, the abortion thing is false. It's a lie. And that's what I said. I said, anything happened with my ex-wife, but what Christian was talking about, I don't know. But as I said, if anything happened, there's nothing to be ashamed of. My ex-wife and I have been the best of friends with her husband and my wife. So that's the thing that I've said. And I said nothing about if it did happen, because I said that's a lie.
Wow. Not a good response.
Let me go here. Wait, let me go here.
By the way, I like the phrasing here. He's holding a gaggle with reporters. It's just an odd phrase to use.
What's your reaction to people so close to you? Your son, a mother of someone who says that she's the mother of your kids, saying that you're lying. What's your reaction to people so close to you, saying don't trust you?
Well, just like what I just said, the Democrats are desperate for this seat. This seat is important.
What's that have to do with your family? She said that the family is the ones who are saying this shit, and now how is he extrapolating that to Democrats?
They're very desperate for this seat. I love my family. I always love my family.
So basically what he's alluding to, the only logical conclusion you can make from this is that he is implying that this is a psyop, or this is like some sort of like 4D, 20D chess move from Democrats to sabotage his reputation in order to gain the Senate seat, right, in Georgia. That's like the only logical conclusion that you can make from this. Because why else would he be extrapolating any blame towards Democrats under the premise that it was his family who was saying the shit?
I'm going to win this race. I know I'm going to win this race and stuff.
Or he thinks that his family are a part of the Democratic institution or something. I don't know. It's one of those two things. Yeah, let's go ahead and look at the let's see how his polls are doing, right? I am curious. Here, let me pull it up here. If we go to Georgia, Warnock is 59 and 100 times. Yeah, look at this divergence here. Hold on. When did this happen? Oh shit, hold on. I gotta look. No, fuck. Not my cat. Although my cat's cute. Likes. Hold on. Was it really this far down? It happened like a little bit ago. But not like super long ago. I don't know. Because I just want to see what the timing is like here. Okay, there's no way it was that far. But this happened, I'm assuming today, is what I'm going to guess. But you see a divergence here. Does it have like the dates? Oh, it does. So the divergence happens at October 3rd. Then October 5th happens, a big jump from 54 to 59. That's actually a big jump, by the way. It's only going to get more of a disparity, I will say. And at one point, it was 62. That was all the way back in June. Boy, have the tides have shifted here. It's still a really close race. I don't want to like diminish that, but this is significant. And this is certainly going to be devastating for him coming up here because the races were almost to election season here. Still got like another month. If we look at the surveys, October, okay, Survey USA, September 30th to October 4th. This had to have been within the time frame that that story happened with Christian Walker. I'm pretty sure it happened less than a week ago. Warnock plus 12. You got Warnock plus 4 from Insider Advantage. You have Warnock plus 5. The only one worth Walker being up is from September 5th to the 16th. That's still somewhat recent, I guess. But that was the oldest one and is one of the lowest graded or lowest rating pollster. So honestly, this is pretty bad, man, for Walker at least. So this is unsurprising if you look at what has taken place. If we go to Ohio, because like, you know, I may as well look at some of these states here. Still looks bad for Ryan. Not gonna lie. Now, is it a surefire thing that Ryan will lose? Well, no, obviously, but it's definitely not in his favor either. Um, so if we look at some of the polls, the most recent of which is this one and it has Ryan plus 3, but there's one a little around the same time with Vance plus 1, same rating, everything. I mean, like it's so close between Ryan and Vance, but we'll see how that one plays out too. Hopefully, Ryan can squeak the dub, I guess. There was also one in Nevada that was pretty close. This one is really close too. It's literally 50-50 between Masto and Laxalt or Laxalt. I mean, look at that. That's fucking crazy. Now, this could be like as you can see, the Democrat here has been dropping pretty like free falling almost. So that trend seems to indicate to be that Laxalt will is treading towards the finish line here. Doesn't mean guarantee or anything like that that they would win, but the averages here seem to indicate that's the case. If the trend continues the way it is right now. And there was also one here. That one looks pretty locked up. Pennsylvania. Not interested in this. I'm more interested in. Man, I don't know. All right. Well, anyway. All right. Well, that's that for now. Okay. Well, there was also another thing I wanted to highlight here. Man, it's crazy because like moving into the elections here in November, you have the Democrats who can utilize abortion as an issue to get people out to vote, and um, now they can utilize marijuana as an issue to get people to vote. Um, I mean, they have like, and these are two really popular things across the country. Uh, if you get the young voter turnout, there's a ton of young people in the country, and if you can get them to turn out to vote, I mean, there's some people who are one issue voters, right? And like, I think that marijuana encapsulates a ton of those kind of people. So getting that, like, pulling the trigger like a month out from the midterms, that could be huge, right? The abortion thing obviously happened 7 months ago, but people are still running on it, and people are still it's still like fuel to the fire, I guess, for these campaigns. But like the fact that they have all these different things that they can utilize, like for the midterms, um, and the popular issues as well. Like the Democrats are on the popular side of these different issues, so like they could definitely pull out a lot of leverage with this. But yeah, man, this is that's good. I don't know how. I mean, we'll see how much this influences polling, but I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting. It could also be the case that they're using these different. That he pulled this. I really do believe that he pulled the trigger here for the midterms, and so there obviously are certain states or races that he thinks that should be like that we need to like that the Democrats need to specifically win. I wonder if it's going to move the needle in any meaningful direction here. But yeah, I don't know. Oh shit. Wait, what is this?
In fact, ever since the beginning of time,
Jesus
teenage
Christ.
girls have been getting pregnant. It used to be more common. The peak, ever since they started keeping records.
Jesus Christ, that's loud. Hold on. This is apparently a thing from Matt Walsh? Oh wait, I should here. I don't know. I don't know, man. This guy's a pedophile, so yeah, let's just okay.
None. It is not. In fact, ever since the beginning of time, teenage girls have been getting pregnant. It used to be more common. The peak, ever since they started keeping records of these things, which they only started doing recently, like in the 20th century. But ever since they started keeping records, in 1957.
By the way, this is the guy who made that documentary with like What is a Woman, which is what you see in the background here. He's like super. If you don't know who this guy is, count your blessings. But basically, he is a pedophile, Nazi, and a grifter all in one. He is truly the scum of the earth. Probably one of the worst, actually. One like the worst conservative pundits out there. Like genuinely, yeah.
7 was the peak for teenage pregnancy. 1957, not 2009,
Well, back
not
then,
today.
all of them were supposed to have kids. Like that's
Well,
when you
hold on.
had kids.
That's my point. Okay. So to all of a sudden act like this phenomenon of girls getting pregnant at a young age that we consider young, 16 or 17, to act like it's a new thing is ridiculous. It's always been that way. Even biologically, and this is me just stating, I'm just, right now I'm going to start by just stating facts. So fact number 1, it's not a new phenomenon. Fact number 2, in fact,
Well, also it's worth mentioning the fact that historically rape has been incredibly common, especially of children. So that's not really surprising. Even if I were to grant the premise that this is like a, I don't know how we put it, like a not a new phenomenon. I'm sure that it's not a new phenomenon. However, um, I don't know what he means here when he says most fertile. I think he just means that he is the most attracted to 16-year-old girls. That's really the only explanation I have, actually. To say, because what the fuck does fertile in this context mean other than they are the most attractive and going through puberty at that time? Like, there's really no other way to interpret it here. Also, aren't there some women who have their, like, there are, like, some women who don't get their first period till, like, way later? I don't really know how late the window goes, but anyway, regardless, I don't know what fertile, and if fertile just means like, yeah, I honestly don't even want to try to figure this out. But I'm assuming to him it just means that they're attracted, like they were most attractive at that age.
it's a phenomenon that was more common earlier in history, and for the first 6 to 10,000 years of human existence, it was a normal thing.
Well, first off, source, but second off, if that were the case, that doesn't mean that we should make any prescriptive statements regarding the defense of pedophilia. Because like we have, I mean, to some extent or another, we have civilized and we have become, rape rates have decreased since we were fucking in caves and shit. So, I mean, really, this isn't like, it's not really like, he's not like revealing anything people I haven't already thought about, like, right? Like, because rape was extremely common for most of human civilization or most of humanity, and it's still obviously common today, however to a gravely lesser extent than when we were like fucking in caves and tribes or whatever. So if that corresponds with increased pregnancies among 16-year-old girls, then that does make sense, I guess. But I don't really know, like, where is he going with this? Is it just like let's not stigmatize men wanting to rape children? I'm confused.
Fact 3: girls between the ages of like 17 and 24 is when they're technically most fertile.
Yeah.
Okay. That's biological.
So what
That's
does
a
that
fact,
mean?
All right, I'm just stating facts. That's all I'm doing. But what,
See, so the thing he's doing here is he's cushioning the take here because he knows that this would come off in the proper context, that this would come off really bad. So he needs to cushion it with like, hey man, I'm just stating facts. There's not, that's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. Like, he needs to cushion the morality of what he's saying to make it more palatable to like a general like normie viewer. I mean that's what he's doing right here.
happened recently, and this is the 4th fact. Recently, in the last 30 years or so, we decided that that's way too young to start a family.
Why?
And because now
divorce rates would probably go up, and once you're that young, you can't really make sure that
Well,
you know.
no, girls are good. No.
Because
Because
girls were getting married early and marriages were lasting longer. You very rarely hear about like these.
Well, I think one reason why marriages would have lasted longer, if I were to grant that premise, is that a lot of these girls were probably groomed by their authority figures, and it's not as though. And plus, wasn't it impossible, or at least legally impossible, for like a woman to divorce a man for a very long time? So it's not really like, yeah, divorce rates probably were higher or were probably lower back then, but like what? Yeah, that's because it was legally impossible for women to get divorces, and there was probably some element of abuse taking place, or grooming happening that precluded the woman or the child to seek out a divorce or try to sever the relationship with that authority figure. Um, so just and also this is and I know what these guys' arguments are actually. Like at the end of the day, they really want what they want is to have like that nuclear family and to hold those traditional values and the woman is barefoot and pregnant. They serve the man, blah blah blah. That's ultimately what they want. And to them, they think that that's like the ideal society. But unfortunately, I mean, I guess it depends on your axiomatic beliefs. But unfortunately, that isn't really the case. Because if you're groomed into going into a marriage and being pregnant and all that shit, you are less likely on average to be happy, I would assume, right? If you're a child, and to seek out a divorce because you probably are afraid of some form of retribution from whether it be the community or your husband.
Relationships to go to their what is it, your diamond anniversary, your 50th anniversary, and all this. That's a dying breed of people out there.
Yeah, and those were all people that got married very young. That's why
they're still alive.
Yeah, that's why you can have someone in their 70s who's celebrating their 55th wedding anniversary because they got married when they were teenagers.
Well, who cares? You don't have to be. Being married doesn't necessitate happiness. There are some overlaps, but it's not like it's not a requirement. Like, if you don't want to be married for your whole life and you want to fuck around with different people, then so be it. Like, people can do whatever they want.
So what I'm saying is that the problem is not per se teenage pregnancy. It's unwed pregnancy. That's the problem in society.
Okay. Oh yeah, where do I begin with this? Yeah, where do I begin? I mean, there's so much to unravel here. I mean, the fact that, again, being married is a prerequisite for happiness and fulfillment in life. The fact that, oh man, there's a lot to unpack here. I mean, so I guess, yeah, I guess the argument is already, as I had stated, barefoot pregnant. That's what they want. They want to continue to rape children and normalize it. So they try to frame this conversation around not that there are 16-year-olds getting pregnant, that it's actually that they're not getting married. So really, this is also an advocacy for child marriage. There's a lot to this. Holy fuck.
It's only problematic when you are not married and you don't have the man there to help you take care of the kids because he's a coward. And the reason why we have that now are for two reasons. Because we have in current society, we live in the age of extended adolescence.
What does that mean? Yeah, I mean, like,
it is not. In fact,
yeah, I don't know what to say other than he's a pedophile. I don't know, like, and he holds obviously traditional values, so it's no surprise why he wants to marry children. Yeah, pretty fucked up, man. Believe it or not every conservative holds these views, at least explicitly, but a lot of them do hold traditional values, and if you take that to its logical conclusion, it would require or necessitate the basically what he is advocating for here. So yeah. Boy, oh boy, that's a roughie there. Okay, yeah, and if you hear my dogs bark, then just like ignore them. Okay. Um, is there anything else I should talk? I mean, there's really like nothing else to say right now. I don't think so. Um, yeah. Okay, well, I think that that would be all for now. I might be able to or I'm going to, I just want to cover some stuff today. And I'll be able to cover some stuff also on Saturday, or I'll be able to stream on Saturday as well. It'll be a little later, probably around 1 o'clock, I guess. Um, and then I'll hit, and that one will, by the way, be probably a little bit of a longer stream, but nonetheless, will be starting later. So, yes, still on the stream for Saturday, so watch out for that. And yeah, I think that's it. So, thank you all for watching today, or for if you are watching later, thank you. And I will see you guys on